Hey, what's up? Welcome to this new video. This one is paper 1-2 of October-November 2010. This is of course paper 1 A-level math. Now with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So in this question we have to find the first three terms in this expansion. Pretty easy. The first term will be 8, choose 0. Here we have first term is 1. Then we have minus 2x squared, right? This 0, this will be 0 as well. This should be 8. Now second term will be 8, choose 1, that should be 1, minus 2x squared. Here we have 1, that will be 1, that should be 8 minus 1 is 7. Then finally the third term should be 2 here, 1 here, and minus 2x squared, that should be 2 here, and that should be 6. That should be 1 times 1 times 1, plus 8 times 1 times minus 2x squared, plus 8 choose 2 is 28, so 28 times 1 times 4x power 4. Simplify. 1 minus 16 x squared. 28 times 4 should be plus 112 x power 4. This is the first three terms of this expansion. Now for part 2, we have to find the coefficient of x power 4 in this expansion. So pretty easy. We have 2 minus x squared. Obviously this one was taken from part 1, so we know part 1 we have this as the first three terms. So we can just use that to then find the relevant value that we need. As you can see, in this one we only care about the term in x power 4, so 1 by 1. If you take 2, you multiply by which one will give you x power 4? This one. So 2 times 112 x power 4. And then we have this one, minus x power 2. Take which one? Take this one, right? To give you x power 4. It have to be 2 times 112 should be 224 x power 4, then plus 16 x power 4. That should be 240 x power 4. So now we can see this one will be the coefficient, so your answer will be just 240 as your value for question part 2. So let's move on to the next question. So we have to prove the ID. The left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So one by one, let's see what can we do. So here we have tan square x. So let me write this down. So tan x, we know it is sine over cos. So square, that will be sine square over cos square. So let me first simplify this. That will be sine square x over cos square x minus sine square x. Now to simplify, obviously we have different base here. We can make them become the same base by taking the LCM, which means we can just multiply them by each other. So 1 times cos square x is cos square x. Then we just have to cross multiply. You will have sine square x minus sine square x and cos square x. So now moving on, we can do something. We can simplify. We can factorize sine square x outside. You will have 1 minus the value of cos square x divided by cos square x. So simplify. Here we have sine square x divided by, for example, cos square x. And what is this? 1 minus cos square x is simply sine square x. So that will give you tan square x sine square x. Okay, so that will be shown as required. Let's move on to the next question. The length x of a green snake is t years old. Okay, the length is x of t years old is given approximately by this formula. Okay, good to know. Now part 1 we have to find dx by dt, so pretty easy. Now we can rewrite this as what? As 0.7 times 2t minus 1 power half. So from here we can find dx by dt will be first multiplied by the power, should be 0.7 times half will be over 2. 2t minus 1 minus 1, that should be half times 2. Cancel out. That will be 0.7 divided by root of 2t minus 1. That will be part 1 of the question. Now part 2, Find the rate of growth of a green anaconda snake which is 5 years old. So we have to find the rate of growth. Now, the growth, we are trying to say the length, the rate of increase of the length. So we're trying to find what is dx by dt, given that it is 5 years old. So we know that dx by dt is this. Now this is the length. Length is t is 5. Sorry, the time, the years is 5. We just replace back in the main equation. That will give you what? 0.7 over root of 2 times 5 is 10 minus 1 is 9. That should be 0.7 over 3. That should be 7 over 30 meters per year. That's the rate of growth, or we can just also write down the decimal if you want to, 0.233 meters per year. Up to you. And that will be the question in relation to differentiation. Now let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows the points A, B, and C, so A, B, C, and P on the circumference of the circle with center O and radius 3. Now the angle AOC is equal to the angle BOC, so BOC 2.2, 2.3, 2.3. So obviously we can find this one pretty easily. It will be the third angle, which is 2 pi minus 2.3 minus 2.3. That should be 1.68. Let me write 3. Up to you. Okay. Now what else? Part 1. We have to find the angle AOB in radians correct to 4SF. So I guess we just found that. That was 1.683 radians. Right, pretty easy. Yeah, 4SF. Now part 2. We have to find the area of the region correct to 3SF. So pretty easy. We just have to find the area piece by piece. We can find this one, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Right, so let's first find number 1. Number 1 is the area of this triangle. How would you find that? So we can find the area of the triangle itself. We don't need to, actually pretty easy. We just need to find the area of the triangle itself. That should be half times sine of the angle in between. That should be 2.3. And the two sides around the angle, that should be 3 times 3. So here we have to use radians, so half times sine of 2.3 times 9. That should be 3.35567. So now this is this left. We understand that because they have the same angle. This also will be the same for number 2, which is 3.35567. Now what about for number 3? This one, it is area of sector, which is half r square. Angle is 1.683. Half times 9 times 1.683. 7.5735. So finally, find the area correct to 3SF. We'll just add everything together. That should be what? Should be 3.35567 plus, so times 2, plus 7.5735. That should be 14.3 centimeters square correct to 3SF. Okay, so let's move on to question number 5. Let's move on to the next question. The first and second terms of an AP, we know it is an AP already. It is 161 and 154. So we know A, first term is 161, and the common difference will be what? So from this going to there will be minus how much? 154 minus 161, so minus 7, right? So we have to minus 7 to go to 154. The sum of the first m terms is 0. Find this one. Okay, so sum of the first m term is 0. So how do you find the sum of the first n terms? That should be half times n times 2 times a plus n minus 1 times d. So just replace, right? So we know there should be 0 here. When n is equal to m, that should be m 2 times a should be 2 times 161, 3, 2, 2. N minus 1 is m minus 1 times d is minus 7. So let's solve. First we can multiply by 2, or you can see we can. 2 here goes away, so you have m, and then you have 3, 2, 2 minus 7m plus 7 is equal to 0. Now obviously we can simplify, right? That should be so 322 plus 7 should be 329 minus 7m times m could be 0. So here m could be 0, or m could be 329 minus 7m is 0. So this obviously will not be the value. So 7m could be 329, m will be 329 divided by 7, that should be 47. So the number of terms will be 47. Okay. Now for part B, a GP in which all the terms are positive, okay, has common ratio R. The sum of the first n term is less than the sum of the is less than 90% of the sum to infinity. Show this is that. So let's see, what can we do? So we know we have a GP right now, right? Now the sum of infinity should be what? A over 1 minus R. Sum of the first n term is given to you by what? A times 1 minus R power n over 1 minus R. Right. So we are saying that the sum of the first n terms, so sum of the first n terms is less than 90%. So 90% is 90% of the sum to infinity. Okay, this is what is given to you. So we just have to replace and try to solve to see what happens. On this side you will have a times 1 over this and this less than 0.9 times a over 1 minus r. As you can see, first thing we can cancel out a, that will go away. Because this is the same, they will also cancel out. So you will have 1 minus r power n should be less than 0.9. Now we can send this one over here, you will have, send this over here, you have r power this, and this one over here should be 0.1. So this is the same as saying r power n should be more than 0.1, shown as required. Because if 0.1 is less than r power n, it means that r power n should be more than 0.1. This is shown as required for part B for the GP of this question. Geometric progression. Again, pretty easy. We just need to know the formulas given to you as well in your list. You just have to find that and then replace back in the equations and then solve one by one to show what is required. A curve have equation y equal to this. This is the curve, and the line has equation this, where k is a non-zero, so non-zero constant. Now part 1, we have to find the set of values of k for which the curve have no common point. So no points in intersection means b squared minus 4ac less than 0. So let's first solve them. So on one side you will have this one equal to kx. Send everything to one side, you will have kx squared minus kx plus 1 is 0. So we know b squared minus 4ac have to be less than 0 because we are trying to find the k for which they have no solution. So b squared is minus k squared is k squared minus 4 times k times 1. Okay, so here you can see we have k squared minus 4k less than 0. So we can find the critical values. That will be factorize k, that should be k minus 4, 0. So k can be 0 and k can be the value of 4. Okay, so from this we have 0 here and 4 here. That should be the curve. Because it is positive 1, the shape will be something like this. That will be 0. Now as you can see, should be below the line, should be less than 0. Should be here. right? So let's find out. So k had to be between the value of 0 and 4 for that to be possible. That is part 1 of your question. Now for part 2, we have to state the value of k for which the line is a tangent to to the curve, and for this case find the coordinates of the point where the line touches the curve. So pretty easy. Now if it is a tangent to the curve, we understand that they meet at exactly 1 point, because if you think this is my curve, for example, if it is a tangent to the curve, they will meet at exactly 1 point. Now from that point on, we know we have to use b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. Now you can see here we have that already, so that we have to just do equal to 0. Now that should be what? K is equal to 0, or k could be 4. K is non-zero, so we cannot use this. That will be your value of k. Now for this value of k, as you can see, we have to find the coordinates of the point of intersection. So pretty easy. So k is 4, replace back in your equation here. That will be 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So we just have to see what happens here. That will be, we can try it. Let's see what happens. So we have 2x, 1 times 1 doesn't work. Let's see what else can we use. Or we can try to use what? We can try to use the formula in case, because I really cannot see. So b squared is x could be minus b, should be 4, plus minus b squared is 4 squared minus 4 times a times c. That should be 0. Divided by 2. Oh, okay, I see it now. Should be just minus here, because we need minus 4. Okay, divide by the value of 2a, that should be 8. That should be 4 over 8, should be half. As you can see here, that was the good factorization. I don't know why I didn't see that, but anyways, as shown, you can always use the formula if in case you're just tired, you don't know what to do. Okay, so x could be the value of half, and y could be what? Replace back in the equation. Could be k times x, so k is this times half, should be just 2. So the point is 0.5 and 2. Okay, and that will be part 2 of your question. Let's move on to the next question. The function f is defined by this, for which x is more than 2. Okay, now part 1, we have to express f of x in the form of this, so pretty easy. Let's do that. So first thing first, we have x squared minus 4x plus 7. Then we have, because here we have 1, we can proceed to the next step. X squared minus 4x, we have to add something. The value, we take this one, which is 4, divide by 2 square. Now when you add something, you also have to minus the same value. 4 divided by 2 is just 2 square, so that we don't change the equation. This will become, we have x here, that will be x. Here we have minus, that will be minus. Here we have 2 in square. Here we have plus 7 minus 4. That will be x minus 2 square plus 3. Okay, that will be f of x in the form of this. Hence state the range of f, so pretty easy. To find the range of f, we have to understand the shape of the graph. As you can see, here we have 1, the shape will be something like this. Now we will have a minimum point, or the minimum value. What is that value? It is this one at the end. It is 3. Now from what we can see, the curve will always be more or equal to 3, so we say the range, we can define a range about y is more or equal to 3. We can write f as well for the range. Now for part 2, obtain an expression for f inverse and state the domain of f inverse. So pretty easy. F inverse, we have to use this. So first, let y equal to f of x, which is x minus 2 square plus 3. Now that will be y minus 3 should be x minus 2 square. So x minus 2 should be plus minus root of y minus 3. X will be 2 plus minus root of y minus 3. Now from this, continue, you will have what? Because we have to write f inverse, it is in terms of x, that will become 2 plus minus root of x minus 3. Now we know that x have to be more than 2, so we take the positive value, which is 2, plus root of x minus 3. Now let's move on. We have to find the domain of f inverse. The domain of f inverse, we have to know it's the same as the range of f. So we know the range of f already, which is y more than or equal to 3. But domain, it is described as, in terms of x, we write x, same thing, more this. So this is your answer as domain of f inverse. Okay? Again, the main point here we have to know is that domain of f inverse is the same thing as range of f. And also, if ever you have to find the range of f inverse, we have to know it's the same as domain of f. But since we found this one already from part 1, we can use that to find this one, right? Now, I know this we describe as y or f, but domain is described as x. So you write x is the same thing, but x for the domain, okay? Now, g is given by this. It is a straight line, x is more than 2, okay? Now, the function h is such that f equal to h of g, and the domain of h is x is more than 0, okay? So let me write this down. So if at first we have g of x was found to be x minus 2, right? Now f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 7. Also we have f inverse as well if you need that. Now we are given that the function h is such that f is equal to h of g, right? You can see that. Now also we don't forget this one as well. F of x is also x minus 2 square plus 3. Okay. Now we have to find an expression for h of g. So by observation you can see it is not that hard to derive the value here because we don't know h, okay, but we know g is equal to x minus 2. Now as you can see here we have x minus 2 square, so it means that h will have to have something as x square and then plus 3. That makes sense, right? That will be my g of x. Because if you reverse think about this, if I have h of, so h, this is not g, this is h. Because if I were to find h of g, for example, so h of x minus 2, that will give you what? Replace here, you will have x minus 2 square plus 3. And this is equal to f just as required. So you can see, step by step, just think reversely. How can we make h in such a way that when you apply this inside, you will get this. This will be the function that we are looking for h of x. Let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows part of the curve y and the line y equal to 3x plus 4. Okay, we have a straight line and a curve. Now we can rewrite this as 2, 1 minus x power minus 1. The curve and the line meet at point A and B. This is the point A and the point B. Now whenever we see meet, we know we have to solve the equation simultaneously. So on one side you will have 3x plus 4 is equal to 2 over 1 minus this. We can cross multiply. You will have 3x this. So let's simplify. We have 3x plus 4 multiplied by 1 minus x, and that will be 2. Expand, you will have 3x minus 3x squared plus 4 minus 4x should be 2. Simplify, send everything to one side. Yeah, 3x squared. So here we have 3x minus this will be minus x, and over here will be plus x. 2 minus this will be minus 2 is 0. So we can factorize because we have a quadratic equation. That should be x here, that should be x here. Here we have 2, 2 is 1 times 2. Now we need plus 1, we have to have plus 3 minus 1. X will be 2 over 3, x will be minus 1. Minus 1, 2 over 3. That is my point x. Now we have to find the y value as well, so replace back in your main equation. So y will be 3 times 2 over 3 plus 4, that will be 6. So here we have the point, this one b is 2 over 3 and 6. What is the point a? Replace minus 1 here, so 3 times minus 1 is minus 3 plus 4 is 1. So we have minus 1 and 1 for the point a. So a is minus 1 1 and b is 2 over 3 6. Okay, let's move on. For part 2, we have to find the length of the line AB. So pretty easy. To find the length of the line AB, we just use the formula, which is this minus this. So 2 over 3 minus minus 1, right? Square the answer. That should be this one, 2 7 over 9. Now we have to add 6 minus this will be 5, square, that should be 25. Answer plus 25, root of that should be 5.27 units. Correct to 3SF. Now find the midpoint of AB, again pretty easy. We just use the formula, which is what? Midpoint x1 plus x2, so minus 1 plus 2 over 3 divided by 2 minus 1 over 6, and then this plus this should be 7 over 2. This is the midpoint of AB. Let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows a pyramid OABCP, so OABCP, okay, in which the horizontal base is a square of side 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay, great. Now, the vertex is P, it's also 10, the length, as we can see here. Okay. The points D, E, F, G lie on OP, AP, BP, and CP. So D, E, F, G. Now D, E, F, G is a horizontal square of 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay. Now the height above the base is A. This is A. Okay, now let's move on to the questions. So what do we need to find here? We have to show that the A is 4. So how do you find this? We have to use similar triangles to find this. Because if you take out the, let's say we take out which one? We take out the small triangle first. It is 6, right? And we take out the, let's take out the big triangle, for example. This is 10, and this is 10. But now again, we already know they are similar. That's the first base we have to know. Because they are similar, we can use this trick. Now, how do you know that? So one of the tricks we can know, whenever you have a triangle, the small triangle in a triangle, and these two sides are in the same direction, we know they must be similar. Now, when two triangles are similar, it means what? It means their corresponding sides are proportional to each other. For example, if I take, let's call this one x, I don't know. If I take 6 over the corresponding side over 10, it is supposed to give me this over the corresponding side as well, which means x will have to be 6. So this will have to be 6. So obviously if the whole thing is 10, this is 6, this will have to be 4. So shown as required, shown by similar triangles. Okay, that'll be part 1 of your question. Now for part 2, we have to express the vector BG in terms of I, J, and K. So where's BG? B is right here. G is right here. So how can you move from B to G? So first thing, I can move from, there's many ways. We can try the long way, why not? We can first move from B to A go to O, right? B, A go to O go to D, and D go to G. The long way, but still it is a valid way of doing that. Now BA will be in this direction, that should be 10. but it is in the opposite direction, should be minus 10j. Now AO, that should be also minus 10i. OD will be going up, should be 4k. And then DG should be this, going this way, will be 6j. Simplify. Minus 10j minus 10i minus 4j plus 4k. That will be BG in terms of I, J, and K. Now part 3, use scalar product to find the angle GBA. So G, from B we go to both sides to find the vectors that we need. So we have to find BG that we know already, which is minus 10, minus 4, and 4. And we have to find BA. From B going to A. Okay, so pretty easy. B going to A is simply minus 10j. So 0, minus 10, 0. So we can find the angle in between by using our formula. First we have dot product, so minus 10, minus 4, 4, dot of 0 minus 10, 0. Equal to, we have to find the length, that should be what? 10 square plus 4 square plus 4 square. That should be root of 132. And then we have, this is obviously 10 square, and cos of the angle B. That should be what? 0, and that should be 40 here. So 40 divided by 132. 100 should be the value of cos B. So 40 divided by root of 132 times 10. This square root, cos inverse of that, that should be, I have to use degrees. So B will be 40 divided by root of 132 times, should be this, cos inverse, that will be 69.6 degrees. That is your angle B for part 3 of your question. Let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows an open rectangular tank of height h. The height is h, okay, covered with a lid, as you can see on the diagram. The base of the tank has side of x and half x meters, x and half x. Now the lid is a rectangle with sides of 5 over 4x, and so it is a rectangle or square. Of a rectangle, okay, yeah, it is a rectangle, 5 over 4 and then 4 over 5x. Okay, good to know. When full, the tank holds 4 cubic meters of water. So the idea behind this is simply the volume of the tank is 4 cubic meters, right? So let's write this down. So given to you, volume is 4 cubic meters. Now the material from which the tank is made is negligible thickness, okay? Now the external surface area of the tank together with the area of the top is A. Okay, so now we know the area. Okay, part 1, express h in terms of x first and hence show the area as this. So one by one we have to use this. How would you find the volume of the tank? You will do length times width times height. That will be half x squared. H should be 4. Hence, that should be 8 over x squared. That will be the value of h. Now, how do you find the area? So A, if you observe, that will be, we have this side and the side in the backs. We have this side and the side in the other side. And at the base, so we have 5 sides in total. So let's do that. So we have, first let's find the area of this side. That should be length times width. That will be xh, but 2, because we have front and back. And we have this side, that will be plus half x times h, but we have 2, right? Because we have this and this side. And finally the base as well. Base is half x squared. But also we have to look at this. with the area of the top of the lid. So the area of the top is what it is, length times width, that should be 4 over 5x times 5 over 4x. Okay, as you can see, this will cancel out. Let's simplify. Let's see what do we have. So a will be 2x h you know is given to you by 8 over x squared, plus this will go away. X times h will be 8 over x squared plus half x squared plus x squared. So let's see what do we have. This will cancel out. You'll have 16 over x plus 8 over x plus 1.5 x squared. So we can simplify, obviously. That will give you what? So here 1.5 is simply 3 over 2, right? Plus here we have the same base over x. 16 plus 8 should be 24. This is shown as required, part 1 of your question. Now, given that x can vary, find the value of x for which a is a minimum. So now at the minimum value, what do we know? dA by dx have to be 0. So let's solve. Let's first rewrite this down. We know a can also be written as 3 over 2 x squared plus 24 x power minus 1. So dA over dx should be what? First multiply by the power should be 3 over 2 times 2 will be 3. Then minus 1, that should be x. And then minus 24 over x squared. Now equate that to 0, obviously. Now we can definitely simplify this. We can send this over here. You will have 3x is equal to 24 over x this divided by 3, that should be 1 and 8. That will be x power 3 is 8, so obviously x will be 2. You can simplify, so cubic root of 8, that should be 2, right? Now we have x is 2. Find the value of x for which a is minimum, so x is 2. Now clearly show a is a maximum, is a minimum, not a maximum, so very easy. To find the nature, we have to find d2a by dx2. So we have to use this one, but let's rewrite this down in as 3x minus 24 x power minus 2. That will be 3 minus 24. So first we have to multiply by the power, should be 48, right? And that will become minus 3. That will become 3 plus 48 over the value of x power 3. Now when the value of x was 2 for the minimum point or minimum value, that will give you what? 3 plus 48 divided by 8. That is 9. 40 divided by 8 is 6 plus 3 is 9. So you can write, since d2a by dx2 is a positive value, we confirm that the a stationary value of a is a minimum value. You have to show this to show this is a minimum value. Wait. Okay, so now I guess we are done with this part of the question. So I guess, yeah, we only have 2 parts for this one. Pretty easy, step by step, as you can see, and then solving to find the values of x and then show the nature. Pretty easy. Let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows part of a curve y equal to this. Now we can rewrite this as 3x plus 1 power 1 over 4. Now what else? The curve cuts the y-axis at a. Okay, at a. So let's find the point. We know at y-axis the value of x will be 0. Replace. You will have y is equal to 1 over 1. That should be 1. This is the point 1. Right? So the point A is actually the point 0, 1. And what else? And the line x equal to 5. So x equal to 5, replace. You will have y is equal to 1 divided by 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 power 1 over 4 should be 2. So 1 over 2. That should be y is 0.5. That should be 0.5 over here. So the point B is 5, 0.5. Okay, so I guess we just found those 2 points that we need right away. Okay, now part 1, find the equation of the line AB. Show that it is this one. So again, to find the equation of line, we have to find the points. So we can find the gradient now. The gradient of AB, it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That should be what? 0.5 minus 1 divided by 5, that should be minus 0.1, which is minus 1 over 10. Now we have a passing point. The passing point is 0, 1, that is x and y. So y minus its corresponding value over x minus its corresponding value should be the gradient. So we can just simplify, send this over here. That will be y minus 1 is minus 1 over 10 x. So y will be minus 1 over 10x plus 1. Okay, that will be your equation shown as required. Okay, great. Now what else? So here we have to find the volume obtained when the shaded region is rotated through 360 about the x-axis. So now we know the rotation about the x-axis anyways. It is found by using the formula integration this y square dx. But now since we have two parts now, you can see we have this line on top and the curve at the bottom, so we have to combine them together. So what is y squared for the line? So the line is y minus 1 over 10 x plus 1. But what is y squared? That should be what? Let's see. That will be, of course, square this one. That should be 1 over 100 x squared minus 2 over 10 x and plus 1. That is for the line. Now for the curve, x squared this one, that should be what? So let's try. So for the curve, so y squared, sorry, that should be 3x plus 1. That should become minus 1 over 2. Okay. Now we know we have the y squared for the curve and the line. We observe that the line is above the curve. So the idea is that when you rotate this volume over here, this area, how do you find this area usually? Usually to find this area, we take the area below the line minus the area below the curve to find this remaining area. So same logic, how would you find the volume? You'll find volume of the area first below the line minus the volume below the curve. So we'll take the line first, volume. Pi will be outside obviously. So we take the line first. The line is 1 over 100 minus 2 over 10x plus 1. Then minus the curve, which is 3x plus 1 power this by dx. The limits, as we can see, it is very simple. It is 0 and 5, right? Given to you. So one step by step, let's try to solve this. Let's see what do we have. So it's pi is pi, and that will be 1 over 10. So it's 100. X power 3 divide by 3. That should be 300 here. And here we have 2 over 10. That should be x power 2. Then divide by 2 plus x. And here we have minus, obviously. Here we have to first increase the power by 1. That should be half. Divide by the power, then divide by d by dx of this should be 3. And limits should be 5 and 0. Okay, so now let's see what do we have. We have to replace, right, the values inside. So this will cancel out. Pi is pi, we don't care. Here we have 1 over 3. X cube is 5 cube minus 1 over 10, 5 square plus 5. Now minus, that will be 3 over 2, that should be 2 over 3. And that will give you 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16, power half is 4. That is the first part. Then minus, when it is 0, that should be 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, and that will be 1, 2 over 3 times 1, right? Because here that will be 0, 0, 0. Here that should be 1. 1 power half is 1 over the value of, so that will become 3 over 2. So when you divide by 3 over 2 becomes 2 over 3. So here we have to simplify these two. For the first one, 5 power 3 is 125 divided by 3 minus 25 divided by 100 by 10. And what else do we need here? Okay, so I think I'm missing something here. It is not 3a, it is actually 100. So 300. Almost made a mistake right off the bat. So not good. So 125 divided by 300 minus 25 divided by 10 plus 5 minus 8 divided by 3. That should be 0.25. Now minus 2 divided by 3, 0.666. Okay, let's see what do we have. Should be negative. So in this case, it's not correct. Should not be negative. Let me try again. So where am I making a mistake here? The points seems to be okay. This is fine. And this seems to be fine as well. Okay, seems to be alright. Let me try again. So 5 cubed is 125 divided by 300 minus 25 divided by 10 plus 5 minus 8 divided by 3. That should be 0.25. Right. Now when x is equal to 0, it becomes 0, 0, 0. And that should be, the value here should be 3 over 2. So 2 over 3 times 1 should be this. Okay. Again, I don't see. Okay, I see now. So it should be minus over here. That is what I'm missing. Should be minus, should become plus. That's the only thing I'm missing. 0.25 plus, sorry, so that'll be 2 over 3 is this plus half, so 1 over 4 should be this. So the volume should be 11 over 12 pi units cube. You can of course simplify this to decimal place, and you will have to provide this to 3SF, but if you want to provide the exact value as well, that is okay. But again, you can see that was a very silly mistake. Always make sure you have everything in the correct order, because here I actually missed this one. I wrote this one directly. That is also very important here. The sign is also kind of crucial to give you the right answer. So that will be the volume of this region rotated about the x-axis.